In the small town of Terrell, Texas, the legend of the Candy Lady strikes terror into the hearts of children. According to the story, the Candy Lady was a woman by the name of Clara Crane. She lived in Texas in the late 1800s with her husband Leonard and their daughter Marcella. In 1893, Marcella died in a farming accident. Clara placed the blame on Leonard, who had been drinking, instead of supervising her. Over time, her resentment morphed into rage. When she could no longer stand his presence, Clara committed an unspeakable act. She fed Leonard a piece of poisoned caramel, then watched as he died. She pled insanity at her trial and was committed to the North Texas Lunatic Asylum. There she spent her days playing with a doll she had made out of old bed sheets. She named the doll Marcy and would sing and talk to it as if it were a real child. When the asylum began to suffer from an excess of patients, the decision was made to release her. In a letter to her sister, Clara wrote, "Dearest Aggie, I am elated. I have been informed by Dr. Matthews that Marcy and I will be returning home in less than 3 weeks. As you can imagine, Marcy can barely contain her excitement. Every night she asks, 'Is tomorrow the day we go home, Mother?' Very soon I will be able to tell her, 'Yes.'" Shortly after her release, the children near Terrell began to go missing. When the police began to look into the disappearances, they were chilled to learn that these kids had encountered a strange woman. She would give them candy and leave little notes on their windowsills, asking them to come out and play. It wasn't long before people began attributing the disappearances to Clara. Parents lived in fear that their children would go missing in the night. They tried to keep a close eye on them, but the kidnappings continued. In one horrific incident, a farmer found a candy wrapper on his field. He unwrapped it, only to find that there was a child's tooth inside. What happened next depends on which account of the story you read. Some versions say that the police later found the boy's body, with his eyes gouged out and his pockets full of candy. Others describe this same incident, except the local sheriff is the victim instead of the boy. It is difficult to say if Clara Crane ever existed, but the story of the Candy Lady lives on. Today, parents still mourn their children of the mysterious woman that lures kids from their houses with sweets.